On the other continents, the wandering Elna Fae became the Men, the Nords of Atmara, the Redguards of Yakuta, and the Saesi of Akavir, which are vampiric snake people. So I'm not really sure where the men part comes in on those guys, but I guess I've never seen a Saesi, so I guess I can't really attest to whether or not they're men-like. Okay, so what's up, guys? It's Sarcastic Dragon here, and welcome to episode 2 of Sarcastic Dragon's Snarky Lore Library. That's what we're calling it, because I put that in the last thumbnail. So, anyways, here we are in Skyrim, right? I know what you're thinking, what are we doing here? So this is going to be a bit more like my my old videos, or, well, I mean, I'm still doing the gameplay videos and stuff, but, like, this is going to be a bit more like those, because I don't have as much of a script. Or I do, but the book is my script. Because we're gonna read the Annotated Anuad, also apparently known as the Children's Anuad, and it is the most batshit insane story in the entire... Alright, one final note before we get started. In an effort to improve my microphone quality, I am employing RTX Voice, which is a software that uses AI, I don't know how much it actually uses, but that's the branding, to remove background noise from audio. And it's really good at it, but it's not perfect, so if you hear any brief audio hiccups, like my voice cuts out for half a second or it gets really muffled, that is why. I do apologize, bear with it, it's not perfect. With all that said, let's get right into story time. Alright, buckle up, kiddos, because this is batshit of the highest magnitude. Here we are, a Children's Anuad. I swear to God, if Dorothy, like, runs halfway across... Okay, alright, we're good. Let's get started. A Children's Anuad. The Anuad paraphrased. I hope that doesn't mean it's shorter. I better check that. Okay, no, this version is actually a single word longer than the original, I guess. So, we're gonna get right into it. The first ones were brothers, Anu and Padome. They came into the void and time began. So we're one sentence in, right? And we've already got one big question. They came into the void. From where? Where were they before that? I don't know. Also, I don't know who the author is or where he sourced his info from, so we're just gonna have to take his word on it. As Anu and Padome wandered the void, the interplay of light and darkness created Nirn. Both Anu and Padome were amazed and delighted with her appearance, but she loved Anu, and Padome retreated from them in saltiness. Nirn became preggers. What? But before she gave birth, Padome returned. So wait, so is she pregnant with Anu's kids? Because it doesn't say who. I mean, it's presumably, right? But she doesn't. I mean, what does it look like when two primordial forces get down and... Padome returned, professing his love for Nirn. She told him that she only loved Anu, and Padome, oh my, Padome beat her in rage. Oh dear. Oh, that's heavy. Okay, Anu returned. He was pissed, rightfully so, and he fought Padome and cast him outside of time. Whatever that means. Nirn gave birth to creation, but then died from her injuries soon afterwards. Anu, grieving, hid himself in the sun and slept. Meanwhile, life sprang up on the 12 worlds of creation and flourished. Okay, so here's where we're getting into the batshit territory, right? 12 worlds. There were 12 worlds before this one that just aren't anywhere on the official timeline because we don't know anything about them. So that kind of widens the Elder Scrolls universe just a tad. Like 12 times over at least. So, after many ages, Padome was apparently able to return to time. He saw creation, and he hated it, for some reason. He's just a dick, I guess. He swung his sword. Where's his sword? What did his sword look like? He has a sword? That sounds like a badass artifact to put in the game or something. I overlooked that. I want Padme's sword. Okay, anyways. Shattering the 12 worlds in their alignment. Anu awoke and fought Padme again. The long and furious battle ended with Anu the victor. He cast aside the body of his brother who he believed was dead, and attempted to save creation by forming the remnants of the 12 worlds into one, Nirn. As we discussed in the last episode, that is the name of the planet on which all the Elder Scrolls games takes place. The world of Tamriel, which is the continent where all of it takes place. As he was doing so, Padme struck him in the chest with one last blow. Anu grappled with his brother and pulled them outside of time forever. Forever? I mean, if Padme got back in, why couldn't they both? I mean, I guess they're both hurt. But what does that even really mean when it's like two primordial entities? Alright. The blood of Padme became the Daedra. The blood of Anu became the stars. Two very similar things. The mingled blood of both became the Aedra, hence their capacity for good and evil and their greater affinity for earthly affairs than the Daedra, who have no connection to creation. Obviously, right? On the world of Nirn, all was chaos, as you would expect when 12 planetary bodies collide. The only survivors, which is not something you'd expect from such an event, were the Elna Fae and the Hist. The Elna Fae are the ancestors of Myr and men. The Hist are the trees of Argonia, which are... I think the Argonians consider them their ancestors, but it's kind of vague on whether or not they're actually directly descended. But, so there you go. Nirn was originally all land with interspersed seas, but no oceans. A large fragment of the Elna Fae world landed on Nirn relatively intact, somehow, and the Elna Fae living there were the ancestors of the Myr, which are elves. If I probably should have clarified that. Myr are elves. These Elna Fae fortified their borders from the chaos outside and hid in their pocket of calm and attempted to live on as before. Other Elna Fae arrived on Nirn, scattered amid the confused jumble of the shattered worlds. This just sounds like an awesome setting for a game, dude, honestly. Alright. Wandering and finding each other over the years. Eventually, the wandering Elna Fae found the hidden land of old Elna Fae, and were amazed and joyful to find their kin living amid the splendor of ages past. The wandering Elna Fae expected to be welcomed into the peaceful realm, but the old Elna Fae looked on them as degenerates, fallen from their former glory. Because, I guess, I don't know, dude. Seems... For whatever reason, war broke out and raged across the whole of Nirn. The old Elna Fae retained their ancient power and knowledge, but the Wanderers were more numerous and toughened from their long struggle to survive on Nirn. This war reshaped the face of Nirn, sinking much of the land beneath the oceans. Where all the water to make those new oceans came from, and how the fuck they managed to destroy continents, is not clear, and apparently the author decided again that this was not an important detail. And leaving the lands as we know them today, Tamriel, Akavir, Atmora, and Yakuta, and Pyandonia. Don't know why it neglected that one, but the old Elna Fae realm, although ruined, became Tamriel, so clearly it's not that ruined because it looks pretty good. It looks pretty good to me. Tamriel, by default, is fugly, but I don't know, maybe I just fixed what happened in the war. That's probably what happened. Anyways, I gotta get back to my... The remnants of the Wanderers were left divided on the other three continents. Over many years, the Elna Fae of Tamriel became the Myr, elves, the Dwemer, the deep ones, sometimes called dwarves, which were also just a type of elf. So, I don't know why it's really differentiating them. The Chimer, the changed ones who later became the Dunmer, or the Dark Elves. Again, they're also elves, so... The Dunmer, the Dark Elves, are the cursed ones. Alright, I'm just gonna stop commenting on it. The Bosmer... Okay, it's listing all the elves. The Bosmer, the Wood Elves, and the Ultimer, the Elder, the High Ones, the High Elves. On the other continents, the wandering Elna Fae became the Men, the Nords of Atmara, the Redguards of Yakuta, and the Saesi of Akavir, which are vampiric snake people. So I'm not really sure where the men part comes in on those guys, but I guess... I've never seen a Saesi, so I guess I can't really attest to whether or not they're men-like. The Hist were bystanders in the Elna Fae War. I mean, they're giant trees, so I don't know how much they could have actually done, but apparently not much. But most of their realm was destroyed as the war passed over it. A small corner of it survived to become Black Marsh in Tamriel, which is the province from which the Argonians originate. But most of their realm was sunk beneath the sea. Eventually, men returned to Tamriel. The Nords were first, colonizing the northern coast of Tamriel before recorded history, led by Ysgramor. You all know this. They committed genocide against the Snow Elves, who were ironically not listed in this list of elves, even though they were Snow Elves, but now they're Falmer. But I guess they just aren't important anymore. The 13th of his line, King Harald, was the first to appear in written history, and so the Mythic or Merethic era ended. So, let's take a scenic walk through Skyrim and let all that sink in, shall we? All right. So first things first. In the last video, or maybe it was in the comments section or of one of my posts, someone said, "Oh, there's sea elves now. What's next? Sky elves?" Well, as we have just gone over, the old Elna Fae, well, all the Elna Fae, but the old Elna Fae are the elf ones. Their world, part of it, crashed into Nirn. It fell from the sky. So in a sense, you could call them Sky Elves, I suppose. Maybe. But that's the least of our revelations here. Next up, Anu and Padme were apparently very deliberate, very conscious entities, which contrasts with all the other sources, which just says they were kind of yin-yang kind of style shits. This begs the question of how much their birthed soul counterparts relate to them. Anuiel is the birthed soul. Okay, so we gotta back up here. So, at one point, Anu and Padme birthed their own souls, whatever that means. They created conscious entities representing themselves, I guess. Look, dude, I told you, this shit's weird. So, they did all this. That's not right. There we go. Alright, if there will be no more interruptions, we can continue our analysis of this text. Oh dear. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do something about that. That's not okay. Padme and Anu birthed their own souls. Again, whatever the fuck that means. Anu's soul counterpart was Anuiel. Not to be confused with Auriel, which is the birthed soul of Anuiel. You got that? Write that down. There's gonna be a test at the end. No, there's not. So, it's... the way it's portrayed through a lot of the Elder Scrolls mythos, it seems that Anu is a very not conscious force, and Anuiel is the conscious variant of that. But if the Anuad is to be believed, then that would, I mean, in the Anuad, both Anu and Padme seem like very conscious entities, because, like, what with the sword swinging and the beating of wives, and man, this is fucked. Anyways, so it's unclear how they would relate. And to be clear, Padme also birthed his own soul and created a conscious counterpart. You may have heard of this one. His name is Sithis. So that's where that guy came from. Next up, the 12 worlds of creation. So there are apparently 12 previous worlds with their own histories. Apparently there was like some sort of Alduin-style end-of-the-world thing, except it was Padme, and he destroyed all 12 of those worlds with his sword that I want now. I want the sword. I don't care what it looks like, I just want it. Now, to be clear, like, this I don't have a script at this point. This is just kind of my analysis of the story. I should probably pull the book back out so I can reference it. Anu grieving, this is another inconsistency. He hid himself in the sun. Now, the issue with this is that the sun is a hole in reality, like a black hole, but light shines through from Aetherius, and it happened when Magnus got all pissy and tore his way out of the mortal realm to go back to Aetherius or whatever, so he could do Aetherius things. And that's how the sun was created. All of this stuff, it appears that all of this stuff would significantly predate all of those events, so not sure where the sun would have come from, because as far as we know, it wouldn't have existed prior to this. But again, there's just so much that we do not know about any of these fuckers. Okay, well, I think that's all the insight I really have to offer. It's not even really good insight. So we're just, I think this is where we're gonna leave it. Thank you, everyone, for joining me on this second installment of Sarcastic Dragon's Snarky Lore Library. I'm coming up with this outro as I go, as always. Maybe I should formulate one with a script, since this is kind of a scripted series, but you know what? That's a problem for later me. So, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, maybe click subscribe, or like it, or comment, say Sarcastic Dragon. Stay away from that. It's disrupting the peace, and I agree. It's barbaric. Maybe share it with your friends if you think they would enjoy this fucking clusterfuck of a universe that we call Elder Scrolls. But thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I will see you guys next time. Peace out.